Okay, it was real hard for me to switch the screens right now, understandably, but here I am now. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, am I actually doing this? Yes, I am. Hoi. Hoi. Hello, everyone. And just as I said, I decided to sip water because I am a nervous wreck for some reason. Honestly, I thought I wouldn't be as nervous as I am right now. I guess I had to expect it. Hi. Oh, hello, Rosa. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. I hope I am doing fine today, my goodness. Well, actually, I don't know why am I nervous this much, because I should take it easy. Calm down, right? Wow, I think I had to prepare just a little bit better. But since I really don't have anything to say outside of the main topic, so to speak, I'll move right to it. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, reliance on VOD is a wonderful thing. Which was the button? This one. Bam. Yeah. So, the plan for today is I managed to borrow a projector with a screen for the purposes of today's demonstration. And I am going to tell you at least a bit about who in the world I am and why am I here and what am I going to do here. As I stated on Twitter, stay a while and listen. What was the name of that guy? Deckard Cain, I think? Yeah, from Diablo. Alright, let's go to the quote-unquote slides, which are surprisingly not the PowerPoint presentation. Would you believe that? I do have the knowledge. Yeah. Right. First things first. A bit about myself. My full name, Echo Whitefil. Pleased to meet you. Yeah, my age is... this is how you write in my 20s, right? I guess I had to say some important thing a little bit. Due to certain reasons, some information about me is still like top secret. Well, maybe not top, but still secret. For instance, I cannot really say my actual age, but I can at least specify the range. And this right here is how you denote the range mathematically, at least one of those ways. So basically it means from in the range from 20 to 30, like including 20 but not including 30. As we normally say, in my 20s. My birthday. My birthday is the 10th of October. And it's kind of funny, but I do really like my birthday for an interesting reason. Not only it's written the same way in both normal date format and not normal one. You can guess for yourself which is which. And also, if you combine it, like write it as 1010, in binary it is, well, 10. So 10 out of 10 all around. Wonderful how it all kind of wraps in together. My height is 1.71 m. At least that was last time I got measured. It might, the actual height might differ by a little bit. It's not entirely relevant. I guess you need just the approximate. That's close enough. And I can speak 2 languages. One of them is obviously English. Well, not... How did that meme go? Not great, not terrible? Yeah, I'm there. So yeah, apart from English, I can speak another language, but that is another piece of data that is still kind of secret. Regarding German and Japanese, they are not in a level that is comfortable for me to speak. But I do know German just a little bit more than Japanese, in particular because I did study it for a couple of years before. What would be the good comparison? Oh, hey, Makoto. Thank you. I mean, you're always welcome to come by at any other time. And before I forget, there will be VODs, not only here, but also on my YouTube channel. So be sure to check them out whenever you have time. Thanks for dropping by again. Right, about those 2 languages, do you know, like, the level at which your average weeb knows Japanese? Well, that is the case for me with German. Actually, I might know German just a tad bit better. And my Japanese is a tad bit lower because I'm not that much of a weeb. So yeah, but I do hope to learn them properly at some point so that I am able to speak them. So there's that. Up next, how did I end up here? Well, a couple of years ago, well, 2 and about 3 months, I think it makes it. Yeah, I volunteered to be a part of a augmentation research program, which was named Project Aether. Yeah, well, it was quite a very specific research because it was... Okay, hold on. I have to look this name up because I keep forgetting it all the time. It was trying to... Okay, I'm gonna quote the document here. It was trying to verify the possibility of tool-assisted telepathy and if it possible develop such tools. Right, so there was evidence of some kind that humans are capable of some sort of telepathy, but it was so underdeveloped, at least those parts of our brains that were responsible for it, that some quote-unquote smart guys decided that it could be enhanced with augmentations. And that was probably one of the first attempts of augmenting human brain, because so far we can put some augs on like our limbs and stuff, and maybe some internal organs, but so far we haven't really touched the brain. And this is one of the first attempts of doing so. Sadly, as actually any smart person could have guessed... Oh, hello, Adiri. I'm out at the moment, but just wanted to stop by and wish you good luck. Thank you, much appreciated. So, yeah, any smart person could guess that it will not work as some people want it to. I'd stay if I had a better data plan. Understandable. As I said, the VODs will be there. I keep getting interrupted, not to blame anyone, but my mind does get distracted quite easily. Long story short, the project failed. It was proven to be impossible. For, again, reasons that anyone could deduce from themselves. As a result, the project was suspended, all our funding was cut, but it happened only after I got equipped with stuff. So now I'm stuck with metal in my body. Fun times. Oh, hello, Zilius. How are you? Yeah, I'm retelling my kind of sad story. Well, to be fair, the only sad part about this is because I literally have a piece of metal in on my face. No one really wants to hire me for any decent job, so I had to think of something. So I was left with a lot of free time and not really much to do. Well, there are some, side jobs and stuff, but I mean, come on, they're not cutting it. A man needs some big thing to do, right? So here I am. The streaming is my big thing to do. Well, at least I hope it's a big. Yep, that's me. And now you don't need to wonder how I got into this situation, because I just pretty much explained it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Despite the research staff being disbanded and placed into other research teams, I still have some contacts with them. One of them, the head of the whole project, Dr. Cookie. She's basically responsible for me looking as I do look. Yeah, she pretty much oversaw my whole augmentation process. So, and basically she's the person I am thankful to for not screwing me up and messing with my brain too much. So, big thanks, much respect, wow, so cool. Another person I am grateful to is Elkind. That was a member of our Department of Data Management and Systems Engineering, right? They were responsible for developing all the necessary programs and data structures and stuff. Yeah, and Elkind was responsible for the front end and UI. So knowing their expertise, I did ask them to help me with the graphics. And they did. And I am grateful to them. All wonderful people all around. I do have to say, our scientific staff, at least those I was in contact with during my stay at the facility, they were really nice people. I cannot complain at all. I do have, stuff to say about all the investors and shareholders and stuff like that. All the top brass, but a story for another time, I think. I don't even want to think about them. But boy, do I have to say stuff about them, and not in a kind way. Alright, let's focus on some more enjoyable things. Speaking of enjoyable things, I do have a lot of them. One of the things that I do enjoy and that helps me to calm down is green tea. My beverage of choice. If I have green tea, I'm pretty much set for quite a while. There is one exception though, and it's kind of strange for me. I really cannot drink milky oolong tea. It just doesn't stick with me for some unknown reason. I don't know, I just cannot drink it. Of all the green teas in existence, this is the one I cannot have. Well, the same I can say actually about, well, standard black tea, right? If you have black tea at home and if I'm crashing in, it's totally fine, right? I will be content with it and I will enjoy it, unless it's a goddamn Earl Grey, right? But again, another mystery for me. But to me, Earl Grey, in my mind, this is what sewage water tastes like. I don't know. Again, it doesn't imply that I know how sewage water tastes like. I did taste Earl Grey, and I think this is sewage water. Oh my god. No offense to people enjoying Earl Grey. It's just I'm saying that I cannot stomach it. Speaking of stomach. Oh, yes. Speaking of stomach, I do actually enjoy cooking to some degree. I'm not gonna say that I am an experienced cook or something. Most of my dishes are actually kind of basic. Yeah, so if I happen to cook something for you, do not expect any culinary masterpieces. I'm not Gordon Ramsay. I enjoy it, but I'm aware it's a particular taste. Yeah, it's a very particular taste, and I don't have it. Right. So if you if you're gonna have a meal made by me, know that it's not like the master chef thing, but you can be 100% sure that it will be good for you, and it will be delicious like 98% of the time, unless I'm dealing with some ingredient I have no clue about. But then again, we have internet, I can look it up, and you can be pretty sure that I will not botch the things I'm cooking. Yeah. The next one is kind of unorthodox as far as I understand. I might be one of the few people who actually enjoys math and all kinds of puzzles. In particular, math-related puzzles, right? I remember one of my like pastimes when I'm commuting somewhere was just to bring up Sudoku on my tablet, and yeah, any kind of time I had to spend during my commute just went passing by. Yeah, there's that. There are some of my most favorite colors in no particular order. Black, red, and cyan. I don't know. There were some theories that you can devise, I mean, or guess or deduce a person's character by their favorite colors or their favorite things or numbers or however. If you can do it, be my guest. I'll tell you how close you are. Yeah, one of the other things I do enjoy, and that was quite a surprise for me when I actually realized it, is all the old sci-fi shows, like from the 2000s and maybe some from late 90s. Uh, yeah, Stargate, Star Trek, pretty much all of them. God, what was that? Babylon 5, all that kind of stuff. I, I, I swear, I remember just binging, what was it? Uh, Star Trek The Next Generation at some point. My goodness. They just don't do it. They just don't do them like this anymore. Andromeda, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm actually gonna do a watch along of those at some point. I'll think about it real hard. There's actually a Stargate turn-based game in the works. Yeah, I think I saw it. I might check it out when it's actually released, assuming it's not, the the same story as with like what was it? What is the longest production of the game? I think it was Duke Nukem Forever, right? Like it was developed for about more than 10 years. Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that. Anyway, somehow I circled back to talking about food. uh, in fact, I don't know if you count sweets as actual food. It's more like a snack. But yeah, I was really addicted to sweets at some point, and I wouldn't say I'm still addicted now, but I can pretty much destroy all the sweets I can find in an apartment if nobody keeps me in check. So yeah, if I'm crashing down to your house, hide your sweets. I'm telling you, I'm warning you. Just hide them. Oh, lastly, let's not start the blame about this one, right? I will say it right now. I have no issues with pineapple on pizza as a concept, right? I will say it for now. I'll keep it there and I'll come back to it. You see, it's on another column and I will explain it. I promise. Moving on to another column. Still talking about food, I know. Like, I don't know if I'm a bit too annoying with food, but as I keep repeating to pretty much everyone, your taste in food actually represents your taste in life. So I don't think there's anything wrong in talking too much about food, because you pretty much can judge a character based on their taste. And this is another one of my peculiarities in my taste. I cannot, just cannot, eat liver. Like, no matter how you cook it, like, you can fry it, you can bake it, you can just cook it, boil it with milk, do whatever, put any kind of spices and herbs on it. I just cannot eat it. Whenever I get liver in my mouth and I realize with my taste buds it's liver, just no. It doesn't work. And again, the only exception to this rule is pate. Like, again, another absolute mystery for me. I have no clue why, but I can eat pate like no problem. Absolutely not. So there we go. The next thing is, oh god, I don't even know where to start from with goddamn ads. Like, it might be just my opinion, but for me, ads are probably the most vile thing humanity could have ever produced at all for the whole history. There's nothing that comes even remotely close to the absolute. Ads are just disgusting. Especially now, in our digital age, when they are literally everywhere. Just. Okay, you know, after I said that, I just realized. Imagine having my own ad starting with this phrase. This would be irony. Oh, actually, I might do this. Oh boy. And speaking of irony and things that just infuriate me, I do not respond well to all kinds of authorities, hierarchies. Yeah, top tier irony. I remember, I mean, back when I was much younger, when I got a job, I don't even remember an exact event that led me to this thought, but I remember talking to myself when I got out from that job that I will never have a single damn boss, a single damn manager in my life. I better just go absolutely bankrupt. I better lose just everything, but I will not have anyone above me. Just no. Same reason as having like people under me. I do not seek for any kind of leadership position in particular because, well, I actually had pretty decent relations with some of my managers and bosses, and we sometimes talked pretty normally. And I do understand that leading people and being, well, the person responsible for them, it is a hard job. And it does require a certain type of character, and I am not that type of character. I cannot work in hierarchies. I just can't. The next one, oh boy. Yeah, I wouldn't say I am introverted per se, right? I can maintain conversations really easily, but it is hard for me to start them. It is hard for me to start, well, pretty much anything, because starting anything is hard. But yeah, seeing as some people can just, oh, hey, hi, how's it going? I cannot do that. Especially with people that I know I will have to be in long contact with, right? Like I have no problem like talking with some random stranger to ask them something, like absolutely not relevant to the near prolonged future, because I know I will not see them again, like, most certainly, right? I Again, if I have to like meet someone for like 5 minutes and then say goodbye for an undefined period of time, totally fine. I can do that. If I know that I have to like be with certain person, work with a certain person, well, do something together with some person, and that I will have to see them for quite a while, and I have to say hi to them, there, the mental block right here. So there's that. Which is why I do like when people start conversations with me. It makes it very easy for me. So this is why I am very grateful when someone new comes by and actually stays a while. Not hinting on anything at all. Yeah. Right. As I promised, I told I would explain that I will explain the pineapple on pizza thing. Right? So there are cases when pineapples on pizza can work. It is like a fact, and everyone who argues against it doesn't understand a damn thing about food, right? The problem is not everyone again understands how pineapple on pizzas work, and therefore just botch the whole pizza, right? Because, for instance, everybody knows that pineapples work well with chicken, right? This is just an example, by the way. I think it's, what is it called when you put pineapples and chicken on pizza? I think it's called like Hawaiian pizza or something. The names might differ, but the point is like instead of like what do I want to say? Well, I have to remember the phrase. Like instead of pepperoni, right? You put some bits of chicken meat, and since pineapples go well with chicken meat, you put some pineapples on it, and it kind of works well together. That I can understand, right? But if the person making the pizza doesn't understand what they're doing with pineapples, like they can really botch it. So there's that. I'm fine with pineapple on pizza per se, but I have to be extremely careful with who's making it. Yeah, Hawaiian. Yeah. So there. So that's my stance on pineapple on pizza, just so you know for sure where I'm standing. Up next, oh yeah, the media. The media I do enjoy, quote unquote, consuming. I'll start with music because music is kind of my thing per se. My top tier favorite genre of music, like NDH, all the industrial metal, all this heavy and electronic stuff. For those of you who don't know, NDH stands for Neue Deutsche Härte, which is translated as New German Hardness. I think hardness, heaviness. Yeah, but I think it's hardness. But now that I think of it, hardness is kind of a weird word in English. It does make sense for me in German, at least. What it is, if you heard Rammstein, you know what it is. That's NDH. Except, yeah, I don't really listen to Rammstein lately anymore. I have a lot of other bands to listen to. The closest example would be Eisbrecher. What else? The Die Krups, like pretty much the fathers of industrial. Right? If we're going a bit closer to industrial rock, it's KMFDM. And if we're not talking about specifically German bands, there are also some. There is Finnish Roska. What else? I have to remember. I think there is. I think Polish Raubtier. And I guess I have to come back to Germany. There is also Heldmaschine. They're also cool. So yeah, close to it stands the power folk or gimmicky metal. You know, if you know the bands Powerwolf, Sabaton, I can totally listen to all that stuff. I think there was something else. In regards to folk metal, well, I am returning to German bands again. This is gonna be a recurring theme for me, I suppose. I really like German bands for some reason. It's like that meme, right? German music is the best in the world. Apparently, this is true for me. But yeah, aside from out of folk metal, I really can recommend Tanzwut. They are more on the electronic part though, and In Extremo. These are more actually folky and metally. I think In Extremo don't even have like synths in their songs. At least I never heard one. And what I'm talking about gimmicky metal is okay. The closest examples I can think of is, of course, Ailstorm, right? The pirate metal. There is also Glory Hammer, you know, all the fantasy trope metal, and there's also Windrose, the as ridiculous as it may sound, the dwarf metal. I never actually heard Windrose, but well, not a lot of them, but what I heard is, well, relatively fine. It does get a little bit cringy though, at least in terms of lyrics, but I totally dig the music. No question. The next position, drum and bass and trance. This is kind of induced on me because one person in our facility just enjoyed blasting it like full volume, and I sometimes that happened. Even the worst part is that it happened pretty much at night. Right, when this guy had night shifts, he just blasted it on, and I had to fall asleep to it. The surprising thing is, it did the job. Right, I actually managed to fall asleep while all this bounce was bashing through the walls. So yeah, I kind of got used to it, and again, I can totally listen to it. It doesn't, you know, induced in any kind of negative reaction from me. So yeah, this I can totally get along with. And on the more chill side of things, all kinds of, ambiency stuff that I can totally enjoy and relax and fall asleep to. Especially if it's like dark ambient or even going to drone with all the kind of noises. But pretty much all this synthy stuff. I just remembered the perfect name of the. I don't think it's band. It's pretty much a brand. What are they? How do you pronounce it? Mayor or Try or Mayor or Tree? I'll have to type it out so that you can look it up. All right, there we go. This is how it's spelled. So by all means, check them out. Yeah. Before I move on to anything else, I'll have to talk a bit about books, because this is not something people mostly talk about. And in my opinion, it's quite a shame, because there are some actually good authors and good books to read. You know how like all the older generations tell that children don't read these days? Well, I can say I did read until, well, a certain point when I got a little bit too busy with life. But my childhood did include books, so in this regard, I like to think that I'm not entirely lost, and there are some of my favorite authors. First of all, Robert Asprin. I still have the whole Myth collection on my shelf. I can pretty much take a book, any book from that series, and read it. They are amazing. I enjoyed them through and through. Apologies. Yeah, another of my favorite authors, Robert Salvatore. I did read that damn series until a certain point where I kind of got fed up with all the hero on an heroic adventure trope. I don't know. I kind of grew up from that plot. So yeah, but hey, no offense to the talent of the author. The books are amazing. I do recommend you check them out. Yes, Praza books. Imagine that. Somebody actually remembers they exist. Yeah, another one of my favorite authors, Arthur Clarke. Also amazing short stories. I think I did mention one. Pretty much my favorite story of all time, the 5 Billion Names of God. I highly recommend to everyone reading it. Again, cannot stress it enough. It's amazing, especially for its own time. Yeah, and finally, the name Orson Scott Card. This one, I have a slight confession to make. I don't really remember anything from him, but I do remember that this author is amazing. How I do remember that? Well, at some point in time, in about early 2000s, we had we still have a certain radio station, and on that radio station at that time they had a program where they basically read audiobooks with some chill music. And I fondly remember all the times I pretty much fell asleep to that program and all the audiobooks. And they frequently used Orson Scott Card's stories. So at some point in time, I might just revisit them to refresh my memory, because I still remember that they were quite good. Now, games. Oh geez, I do need water, talking too much. As I say that, even though I did talk for longer even before, but anyway. Immersive Sims is by far my favorite genre. But to those who can't really recognize it, it's Bioshock, Dishonored. I think I actually can put Amnesia there because, well, it's kind of horror-y, right? But it's not like just horror. I think you can count it as an immersive sim. I think Subnautica can also count as one. I think because immersive sim is not exactly a well-defined genre, because nobody pretty much does it. Everyone says like, oh, it's an FPS, or it's a horror, or it's a what is it, RPG, right? But there are certain elements that pretty much comprise this. I guess you can call it a meta genre. So yeah, I do enjoy these kinds of games where you pretty much, as the name suggests, you have to immerse yourself into the plot and into the character you're playing. Another, my favorite genre, all kinds of strategies, like all kinds. I'm talking both real-time strategies, turn-based strategies, all the 4X's, from in all the scale, from just controlling a single squad to like massive empires, both in on the ground and in space, everything. If it's a strategy, chances are I will enjoy playing it, unless it's like, super broken and stuff. On the more actiony side, all the kinds of old school first-person shooters, or as some people could call them, the boomer shooters. It's Doom, Quake, Unreal, Serious Sam, Duke Nukem, Blood, all that good stuff. And yes, I will go through a ton of them as much as I can. And finally, of course, how could I forget all the big RPGs? All the big classic RPGs, but not Japanese RPGs. I cannot really process how Japanese RPGs work, and not because they are characteristically long. I can't play long games. Okay, I was totally fine with Morrowind, Oblivion. I was totally fine with Gothic. I was totally fine with Might and Magic. And I'm not talking Heroes of Might and Magic, even though Heroes are a good series in their own rights. But there is also, some of you might not know this, there is also a series of role-playing games called Might and Magic. And that's where actually the whole Heroes series grew from. I might actually play Might and Magic at some point so that you get the gist of how those RPGs work. But yeah, look forward to it. And finally, all the fun series and movies I did enjoy and do enjoy watching. I kind of grouped up all the live action shows and anime and cartoons there because in my mind they're not entirely different, because I watch them all. Like the method of enjoying them, of I don't want to say this word, but fine, of consuming this media is the same, so why would we separate them? At least I don't. So yeah, some of my favorite movies, they live just top tier, pretty much this on the same place. Event Horizon, a classic space horror. Speaking of space horror, all the 4 aliens, and there are 4 aliens. Some might be worse than others, but there are just 4 alien movies, and they're all relatively good in their own right. Yes. And of course the anime. Some of my favorites are Steins Gate, all the scientific stuff and all the conspiracy theory stuff. Give me more of that. 10 out of 10. Durarara, I really enjoyed the narrative style of Durarara, where they had a bunch of characters and they always like switched in between them so that you can get the full picture of what's happening in the setting. So I did enjoy that. They don't have like a couple of main characters and that's it. No, the variety of cast is wonderful. The Ascendance of a Bookworm is the ongoing series, which is probably the most enjoyable for me. It's one of the most enjoyable isekai anime for me. I cannot even understand why. It's just, kind of endearing to watch. And yeah, I do enjoy some classic animes like Dot Hack Sign. Don't even start with me on SAO and Lock Horizon shit. This is the OG. Like, to be fair, Lock Horizon does have its moments. It's totally cool, but let's give the credit where the credit is due. Dot Hack was there first, and it actually did pretty well. There wouldn't be SAO and Lock Horizon if there was no Dot Hack Sign. Well, you can actually throw in Ergo Proxy in that list. I sadly don't have enough space. Even though I pretty much could make some space, but whatever. Ergo Proxy is a good anime as well. So do check it out. If you, by some miracle, haven't. I think that does that. And yeah. I talked about who and what I am. Now, let's focus on what I am about to do. I think I didn't stress this enough and didn't actually point it out. My mistake, I apologize. But I am learning to be a decent music producer. In fact, the intro background music, the current background music, and the outro background music you're going to hear are all made by me. Yeah, how some people make the models for themselves, make all the graphics for themselves. I make music for myself. And this is why I waited for so long. Yeah, I do hope you all enjoy listening to what I make. That said, I do wish to get better at this so that I am actually much more recognized and much more famous and that I make just better stuff, because there's no reason not to improve at all. I do want to make better things. Not saying that my current stuff is bad. It's not. At least I think it's not. But yeah, I do want to make better stuff and make the more varied pieces, because so far I feel like I am in a pretty confined area in terms of genre. I'd like to broaden my scope. This would be fine. Somewhere in my life, I do want to have a full studio with all the instruments, all the synths, all the I do need correction. I do want my own actually physical electric guitar. I do want my drums and all that. I do want that. So this serves as kind of a benchmark of my development as a music producer, getting my own studio. Well, at least the area. All the instruments come later, but I do want that dedicated space for music production. At least that's in terms of setting up my work, and in terms of actually achieving something in my work. I will understand that I am successful when I either release a full album full of like original pieces, not covers or remixes, or I take part in making some either game or well a series, and I make a soundtrack for it. Like some people tell that they want to be the next Mick Gordon. I mean, I would be fine with that, but personally, I would prefer it more if I was the second Frank Klepaki. Yeah, well, that's a bit bigger inspiration for me of music production, at least. In more general scope of streaming and all the content stuff, I'd like to get a lot of people to play strategies with, because it is my conviction that strategies are criminally appreciated lately, and I really want to bring back the, I guess, fashion of playing strategies, because strategies are skillful a lot more than people realize. I do want to bring back the meta of skillful games, in particular personal skill games, because there is a trend that we have the what are the most popular games? Or like Apex, or what else? Minecraft is usually played in a group. Team games are very popular lately, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but it just saddens me a little bit that 1v1 games are not as popular as they have been before. Okay, it's just my personal taste, but still, I want to play strategies with people. It also would be fun to get in some tournament. Not necessarily like strategy tournament. I have no illusions regarding my own skill, but maybe some local, like maybe VTuber tournament or something. It doesn't have to be strategies. It might be like some FPS or some other thing. But because if we're talking about playing with others, right? It might be just my sort of competitive nature of sorts. I don't really like to play in particular with someone, like in a team. It's more fun for me, at least, to play against each other, and after we've beat our virtual and metaphorical faces in a tournament, we can, just grab a drink somewhere later and laugh about it. That's the kind of, collective effort, I guess, I would like to have, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the last thing is not entirely serious. Just I'm messing with you. You can think I'm messing with you. I'm totally messing with you here. Yes, it's not serious. Do not pay attention to it. Finally, to wrap it all up, the bloody hashtags, because they are apparently necessary, because the social media are spread and have spread like, I don't want to say what, but here we are. And it's useful to have them, so here they are. Again, fair warning, these are pretty much the work in progress and due to change, not set in stone. If we find something better, I'm fine with it. And of course, I will notify you of any changes that might happen. But for now, this is what I have. The general live stream, hashtag #EchoOnline. Pretty self-explanatory, I hope. I did try to make them as self-explanatory as possible, so that everybody knows what they're up, what they're about. Yeah, we're back to it. The community name, yeah, that uh, founding a cult thing. Okay. First of all, I'm not entirely serious, right? Let me persuade you. I'm not fully serious with the cult thing. Welcome back, Odieri. You're just in time. I'm trying to like justify what I said about a minute ago. So there is no like serious cult in the homina sort of way. Okay, nothing like that. It might have been fun, but I do not wish it upon you. Okay. What I meant is, you know how some um, games or some movies have what is called a cult following, right? Like their fan base is not entirely small, but it's very dedicated. That's the kind of quote unquote cult I want, right? I will be fine with a pretty well, not contained, but you know, not overgrown audience, but that is there for me. I want to become the cult classic. That's what I'm trying to say. Hence, acolytes. Again, pretty self-explanatory, easy to understand. There you go. Next, fan art. This is, I wouldn't say it's a play on my last name, because instead of white there is red, green, and blue. But again, at least, you know, my logic was when I was thinking about this hashtag was, you know, the art is actually pretty colorful, and it's not just white blank space, so might as well. And you pretty much fill it with red, green, and blue in some proportions. So yeah, I suppose the name RGB fill justifies the purpose or the function. But yeah, I think it will work. The next one is mostly for me. The hashtag AetherDocs is when I dig up some more info about the Project Aether and when I can release it to you. So when it happens, that's the tag. Finally, the social media mark I managed to grab, well, quote unquote grab, it was free to take. I had to look it up how it's called. It's the control knobs. I guess I had to like write down the name, but at least now you know how it looks at like, and now you know how to find it. It's control knobs. Because you know when I make music, I turn the control knobs up and down. Well, that's what I was going for with. But yeah, these are the control knobs on my panel when I'm making music. Think of it this way. Yeah. And that's pretty much it with the info I wanted to say. Yeah. So let me wrap it up a little bit before we all move on to part 2. Oh yeah, part 2. But before that, I would like to share my schedule for the upcoming week. I have to kind of block vision of the chat for a little bit, but don't worry, I'll get it back. So these are my plans for the upcoming week. I'm starting the week real strong with the aforementioned cult classic. I'm starting Deus Ex. And yes, I'm starting like the first Deus Ex, the one where where the whole series began. Like I know how people like their human revolutions and mankind's divided. I don't give a damn. I'm starting with the first one because I actually like it more. You can call me like the boomer despite me being not that old, you know. I just like old things. I don't know why. Hence the first Deus Ex. Oh yeah, oh my god. I'll get to it, okay? I'll get to it. Let me deal with this first. On Wednesday, I am, well, continuing. Yes, I'm not starting from scratch. I'm continuing the personal story of Guild Wars 2. I think I'm actually finishing the actual personal story because after that there are the expansion campaigns. But yeah, I have to finish up the last 2 chapters. On Friday I am starting another boomer shooter because before the debut I did play a medieval and there is still a full playlist on my YouTube channel. You can check it out when you have time, but on Friday I'm starting Serious Sam the First Encounter. And I do not have the HD, and I don't really wish to get it for the stream, even though it might look good. But I do want to get that, feeling from back then. I don't know. It's not gonna be the HD, it's gonna be the classic. That's what I'm trying to say. And, of course, speaking of classics, I'm saying it right here so that everybody remembers. On Saturdays, I have strategies. And the current strategy I am in the middle of beating, well, quote-unquote beating, is Disciples 2, the turn-based strategy, which at some point was the same called Classic, maybe a bit below Heroes of Might and Magic. It is wonderful in its own right. If you haven't seen it, there is no playlist just yet, but maybe I might, compile them into one and add it up. But there are videos of me playing this on YouTube, and I haven't beaten the campaign yet. So if you want, you can check it out to catch up to where I am now, and if you're irrelevant about it, it's fine. You will still be welcome on Saturday to see what's going on there. So there's that. Yeah, I think it was just below Heroes, and I think Age of Wonders was below Disciples, but, well, personally speaking, well, now that we're talking about it, for me, Age of Wonders is above Disciples. Especially, given the last entries in the series. Right? Actually, I think Age of Wonders as a turn-based strategy is on top for me. Then it goes Disciples and then Heroes. Don't at me. Yeah, maybe it's just, that I kind of got fed up with Heroes. Don't get me wrong, Heroes 3 and Heroes 5 are probably one of the best turn-based strategies of all time, but I cannot really play them anymore. I just... Bleh. Too much. Too many heroes. So yeah, Age of Wonders it is for me. Alrighty. Yeah, I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say, so I can wrap up the part 1. Would you look at that? It actually went relatively smoothly and relatively well. Oh boy. But now that I say it, I am in a bit of a dread because, as I promised, there's gonna be a part 2. Part 2 where I sing. And where I sing, well, heavy songs. Well, not that the lyrics are heavy, even though sometimes there are, but it's gonna be metal, okay? It's gonna be heavy, well, industrial, metal, all the rocky thing, all that stuff. There's gonna be a ton of electric guitars. So this is just a fair warning for you. Or not warning, maybe, I don't know, if you're into that kind of music as I am, then it's gonna be wonderful for you. And again, I will have to say that the this part, the first part, the actual debut, will be archived on YouTube and public for everyone to see, but again, the karaoke will not, because DMCA is a thing. So spread the word. This might be the only chance you get to see it. Otherwise, well, tough luck. And well, yeah, it will hang for a couple of weeks on Twitch, and after that it's gone. I will not save it. Wink, wink. But yeah, I think I will start in about 20 minutes. And during that time, we will all have time to prepare. You might grab a snack or a drink again. And I will set everything up. And yeah, so I will see everyone in 20 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for coming by. Thank you to everyone on YouTube for watching. Because yes, as I said a lot of times before, I will save this VOD on YouTube. So yeah. Wait, so will it be on Twitch? It will be, as I come on. Wouldn't you know? Come on. You're supposed to know that Twitch saves VODs for how long? It is 2 weeks, I think, right? Except, yeah, part 2. Except, I think Twitch, what it does, it cuts the audio if it detects songs. So it's kind of useless there. So yeah. Yeah, I did set it up. I did check. It's fine. The VOD will be there for quite some time. I did warn someone about that same thing. I'm not gonna make that mistake. Come on, bruh. Alright. I'll see you in part 2, everyone. If you cannot stick around for that, well, thanks for dropping by anyway. I'll see you in 20 minutes. Until then, or, well, wherever we meet again. Till then, again, thanks and take care. See ya. We will be right back after a short